Hello. This presentation is on the Opium War, which occurred between 1839 and 1842 and had major significances beyond those years. So, in the late 18th century, British merchants built a flourishing traffic in opium from India to China, for they had been unable to find any other product to import into China in quantity, as the country was almost self-sufficient. By the 1830s, British free trade policy unleashed a flood of opium in China, which threatened China's favorable balance of trade. The Chinese government tried to curb the opium trade, and the emperor appointed a radical patriot, Lin Zexi, as imperial commissioner for an anti-opium campaign. In 1839, Lin arrived in Guangzhou, or Canton, which was the main port for foreign trade. Lin and the Chinese would enforce its prohibitions on the importation of opium by destroying it at Guangzhou, a large quantity of opium confiscated from British merchants, kind of like tea partiers. The British responded to this by demanding compensation and access to Chinese territory where they could carry out their trade. The British merchants appealed to the government, and in 1840, 16 British warships arrived in Hong Kong and sailed to the mouth of the Peiho River. Next year, they attacked the walled city of Canton, or Guangzhou. The local militia and imperial troops were powerless against the navy guns. This photo is a nemesis, and under it says, destroying the Chinese war junks. And this was in 1841, January 17th, and this just shows how strong the British Navy was. In 1842, the British received reinforcements and they seized several cities, including Shanghai and Nanking, or Nanjing. The Treaty of Nanking, or Nanjing, concluded at the end of the war in 1842, ceded Hong Kong to Great Britain, and opened several ports to British trade. The Treaty of Nanking, or Nanjing, fixed the customs duties on imports at such a low level that China was prevented from protecting its new industries from competition of cheap imports. This treaty was the first in a series of unequal treaties which gave foreigners special rights in China. American and French treaties soon followed, and the economy of China experienced a breakdown of self-sufficiency in the traditional system of agriculture and craftsmanship. In the unequal treaties ending the Opium War, the British, and subsequent Western powers such as America, used their technological and military advantage to press for increasing accommodations from the Chinese. These unequal treaties resulted in drastic changes in the way China dealt with foreigners. After thousands of years of exercising supremacy in its interactions with outsiders, China found itself being dictated to those outsiders themselves. Given the technological, economic, industrial, and military advantages enjoyed by Western countries over the Chinese, China had little prospects of reversing those changes. Closing those gaps would require embracing Westernization, which would itself make it impossible to go back to the old way of doing things.